What's up guys, and welcome back to today's video. Once again from Nirvana Beach Gym. You already know, out in Ibiza, 6 p.m, perfect time to train. And today we're hitting a classic back, triceps and traps workout. Once again, gonna be a little bit more of a ghetto kind of workout because we're outside. This is where the light is good. So it's gonna be mostly a free weight and some machines over here kind of workout. Firstly, starting with lats, even though they're not really anymore my weak point. I do like to start off with those because I just think it's really sick. If you just walk around with super big lats, those really make your back pop. And since the first exercise that you want to be doing needs to be the priority, since you're mostly the most fresh and the performance is going to be best, we're starting off with lower lats today. Let's get it. It's a bit like more lengthened position bias. There's not that much tension at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter that much because the lengthened part of the range of motion is the most anabolic part. So we're really gonna hit that nice, good, big stretch on this one. Another thing you may notice, I'm not really holding it very long at the bottom. The shortened range is the least anabolic range of the movement. There's not much anabolic benefit of really holding it at the bottom. So you'll kind of see that I'm spending like 50 to like 75% of the entire time in the set and kind of the lengthened range of motion, the lengthening part. So like the upper 50% of it is gonna get you the best bang for your buck. So you go down quite quickly, get in there, control, so don't like let go, control, hold, slow down here, get into that stretch, and then slowly pull into it, not like super quickly accelerate. The muscle is kind of elastic, there's an elasticity into it that kind of makes you bounce back and use momentum if you're pulling down. So you want to kind of use that, get that slack out of it, and then slowly push through again. You'll notice your set will be much more effective, much more mind muscle connection, much more pump, which is a great proxy for stimulus, much more muscular development. Probably see me doing and have noticed that I'm rounding my back a lot. I'm not sitting straight up. Again, a muscle group that I really prioritized on in the last years. I feel like my lats have really improved well, and now I need to focus more on my upper traps and kind of more the upper back. But to hit those lower lats, to really create that wide back that makes you really pop out those lats and that back, is going to be for lower lats. So you want to do an exercise that is vertical, driving your elbows into your pockets. What you see most people do, you do pulling movements like these with the elbows out to the side and bringing their bar to their chest. But what that's going to do is just going to hit your upper back, because what it does, it allows you to move your shoulder blades. And when that happens, you're just hitting the lower traps and the mid traps and the rhomboids and the upper back muscles, all right? So you want to eliminate that, and we do that by depressing our shoulders, pushing them down and forward, and making sure that we're kind of in this rounded like boxing position. And from there, keep our elbows forward and focus on driving them into our hips. That's what's really gonna engage the lower lat and not your upper back. So we did lower, now we're gonna hit upper lat, but make sure you stay hydrated, guys, because it's hot out here. If you go to a place like Ibiza or something, you might want to supplement with electrolytes or like take some salt before your training, because it makes you contain all your water weight. It's very important. Dehydrated muscle is gonna cramp and ache faster. You're less likely to progressively overload and make some gains. Good deep stretch. What you would see most people do, they would do this. Stick their chest into it and row like that. It looks really cool, makes your delt pop, your arms makes you look bigger. It's cool for Instagram, TikTok, all that sort of stuff. But if you want to hit your lats effectively, again, you need to round your back, shoulders down, forward, and drive that elbow as low as possible into your hip. Don't pull it further, because you're gonna engage your upper back. Like pretend that you're kind of dragging with your lower arm over the floor, as if you have to like drag some kettlebells over the floor like that. The lower you drive with your elbow, the more you're going to engage that upper lat in this case. Unilaterally, one arm at a time. Always start with your weaker arm. If you otherwise do this, you see all that shoulder movement, scapula is moving. If you retract it the way most people do, you're just gonna engage your upper back. And you want the upper lat to be the only limiting factor to really isolate it and get the most stimulus, aka most muscle breakdown, protein synthesis, all that sort of good stuff. So keep that shoulder down, forward, and only drive with your elbow. Nothing here is allowed to contract, only the upper lat. Right, depress shoulder, forward. Good deep stretch. Really good pump. Again, pump is good, proxy for stimulus. That means that you're doing really, really well. The more blood you get into the muscle, the more you're isolating it. Doesn't necessarily mean that if you're not feeling the muscle, that you're doing something bad, because there might still be great mechanical tension. But the more pump you get, the better you're stimulating the muscle. Nice confirmation that you're doing something well. 2 sets on these. Nice, slow and control negative, quicker concentric, most of the time spent in the lengthened position. Okay. To demonstrate you a little bit further, look at what's happening in terms of activity in my back. One of the pros of training without a shirt on, you can see what's happening biomechanically, physiologically within the body. So if I again pull this handle and I just stretch, you see a stretch on the lat. I retract and pull. Okay, I'm driving with my elbow in the right way, but there's not much happening in the lat. There's a lot of shoulder blade involvement, rhomboids, traps getting into the movement. Even though if I drive my elbow down, it's still the same, right? But what if I depress my shoulder, protract it, keep it in that position? Look at what's happening kind of here in the upper back. Down, forward, slight supination in the grip, and I row back. You see that the upper lat is much more engaged right now. Alright, next exercise is going to be a bilateral tricep overhead extension for the long head of the tricep. With this one, it's very important that you go down as far as you can. You want your lower arm to fully touch the bicep. Full lengthened position. Once again, most anabolic part, control that movement. If you can, extend all the way out at the top, but if you keep it slightly bended simply because the load is so heavy and you can't, or you have some pain or something going on over there, you could skip it because it's not like that important. As long as you just make sure that you ensure that the bicep touches your lower arm. Let's get it.